Anybody out there is listening, tell us who you want to hear from in St. Louis. What do you want to know about? Who do you want to know about?
Who do you want to hear from?
Who do you want to hear from?
Yeah.
Because we've got the world is our oyster. St. Louis is our oyster right now.
Don't eat oysters in St. Louis.
Yeah, don't eat oysters in St. Louis. However, there are a lot of pearls in this oyster.
That is true. That is true.
And one of the pearls is with us today.
I know.
Which is so exciting.
I'm so excited for today and to get to talk. And, this has been a relationship that we've had for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how many years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Years. But we are really excited today to have Brittany Dwyer with us from Disco and a couple other businesses that we're really excited to hear about. She has been instrumental in the St. Louis area, in the startup community, and also with corporate, and really building her whole business around community. And that is what is so cool and so special to us, because we love the St. Louis community. We love local. We love supporting local. And Brittany has really taken that and wrapped her arms around and has really motivated people in this community and different business owners to work together and on experience, which is such a key thing in this day and age. Because I think that that's how, in this fast moving world, that we crave experience and experiences as opposed to tangible type things. So,
well, and I think what's cool about what Brittany does with Disco is it really truly is connecting people to those experiences, but startup scene that we don't always get to talk to, which is kind of the cool kids in the bar.
Oh, they're
the cool kids. Like all those startup guys and gals over there. They're like the cool kids. And so I kind of am excited to kind of dig into her a bit on startup life. With St. Louis being one of the predominant, I'm not saying that correctly,
predominant
cities in the world for a startup, which is so incredibly crazy. So Brittany Dwyer, Disco,
welcome.
Good morning.
Thanks
for having me.
Thanks for being here.
So we want to hear a little bit about Disco. Tell our audience a little bit about your current business right now, and then we're going to dig into all of this stuff.
Sure. I can start with just our foundation and where we started. So Disco at its core is a company that provides group events and experiences that are curated and tailored to each specific audience, with our goal of connecting in different groups to the local community. So I say that we kind of sit right in the center of the local businesses and, small businesses and the people that they serve, and bringing those two together consistently.
Give us an example of an event that is maybe one of your favorites.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
I know.
Well, so we do a combination of things that the businesses already have, but then we also help them think creatively about what they're offering.
Love that.
So just this week we did a team building cocktail making at Nixta before dinner. To kind of spice that up a little bit and give the team a chance for connection before. We just designed a scavenger hunt in Clayton. We have progressive dinners in pretty much every neighborhood in St. Louis that involve multiple stops. Those have been really popular with, for client engagements.
We talk about it. Our friend group talks about doing these progressive dinners all the time.
So fun. It is so fun.
But having somebody plan it,
you have to have someone plan it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like none of us have time. Like, we're all working, we're all doing our things. No one has time to plan it. So that's what you would do that for us.
Yes.
So you don't just work with businesses, you work with clients, so to speak, right?
Yeah, predominantly we're B2B.
Okay.
But we do we still do some personal things, kind of depending on what it is. But we've never gotten into weddings. We try to stay away from that. Our sweet spot is really events 100 people and under, because
love that.
Most of the things we do feel pretty intimate and curated, and that's how we kind of prefer to keep it. But the progressive dinners are so much fun. And again, it's all about conversation. So when we're thinking about what we're doing to bring people together, is this what people want? Are they going to have a conversation and leave and kind of build a core memory from this?
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's gotten harder to get people out of the house.
Yeah.
We had a huge behavioral shift, right? From from 2020 and beyond. And now we're kind of seeing the swing back from that and people realizing that it hasn't be the disconnect and people seeking it, but people aren't necessarily, positioned to plan it themselves. It can feel overwhelming. And then, again, for those small businesses, they want to attract that audience and they have so much to deliver. And these are really creative people right here in St. Louis that, they deserve the opportunity to reach a bigger audience.
Yeah. I love that.
That's awesome.
It is such a great tool and it's such a great thing. You launched this business how many years ago?
I quit my job 5 years ago in May. So I guess four full years.
Right after COVID.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that and what brought you, what made you think after kind of that? I mean, I don't mean to sound negative, but after the experience and kind of the craziness of COVID, what made you think that this type of business was going to resonate?
I mean, yes,
we were all really locked down at that point, right?
People were like, okay, it's kind of crazy, but I knew this was temporary. I'm a super social person in general. And I never let my mind during that time go to that was a permanent state for me, which I'm really blessed that I never did that. Yeah. And so really what made me start the company was I was just losing sleep over doing this. I mean, I had a comfortable job. I was working at Bayer. And, I still had people, I was still kind of the go-to. So people would reach out and say, hey, where do we go? We want to do a birthday dinner. I was
you were that girl.
I was the OG concierge.
Yes,
so
I love that. I love that.
So I was it was pretty simple in the beginning. I'm like, why is it so hard to book a private dining room?
Right.
And I had done events before, my corporate journey. I had done events for some chefs in St. Louis and kind of helped in the hospitality space for 4 or 5 years. And so that's always supportive of that.
Yeah.
I just went for it, went and talked to some friends that own restaurants. And like I said, started as private dining. It really quickly became, I had a couple corporate teams reach out, book something.
Right.
Because what I realized right away, instead of just listing the space, right? Like you can book a restaurant. Really what people are looking for is an expert, like a quick option.
Yeah.
Right.
So we try to, by the time that you get it, or that a corporate business or whoever gets something from us, it's pretty much baked.
Right.
We're not sending a 10-page PDF. We're like, this is what you should be doing. So I really try to take that approach in everything I do.
I love that. We love that.
Yeah. No, it's so true that, as busy people, you always are. We just did it last night.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to go out to dinner for the holidays? Cause it's like a normal tradition that we do. And I'm like, yeah, you can plan it. I mean, it's just another thing to add to the plate. And I can imagine as being a person that works for a company and this is what they're tasked with of plan the holiday engagement with the employees.
Yes.
You need a resource for that because to your point, not with the best chefs in town.
Right. And they're not experts in entertaining and that experience. And I think that what I love about what you're doing and what you're focused on is the experience. It really, because it is so, just one small detail off can ruin an experience or make the experience.
Exactly. And what we talk to people about is one, when the person planning can't always just show up. You never feel like you're showing up and you're having a good time. And that's not fair to the person, that
sounds
is just
familiar.
Yes, been tasking. And I like to remind people the most important part about these things that you're hosting is not getting there. The planning ultimately is not it seems like the heaviest lift because people don't want to do it.
Right.
But the host, whoever that is, if you're a financial advisor, if you're a team leader, your focus should be on how are we bringing people together when we get people in the room? What are the conversations that need to be had? What are the connections that need to be made? And that can get shoved down the line. And by the time you get there, if you're exhausted with planning, you can't really be a good host.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're just tired and you're like, okay, we did it. And it's like, no, you didn't do it. You know, the thing is like the event is ultimately, you know, what you should be focused on.
Right. The end objective. And I think that
I love that.
Yeah. And, you know, truly, I know that this is more of a business facing business, but, you know, on a personal level, like that's what every event should look like. Every dinner should be, you know, not that we're all so thoughtful about our dinners, but I walk away and I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm present. I want to make sure that I'm having a meaningful conversation with my friends.
Right.
And that I'm connecting in the ways that are going to make me feel really good later.
Yeah.
So, you know, it should be the same thing for a business event. I mean, but we just lose sight of that because we feel like it's so businessy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I would think too that, you know, I think sometimes for people, particularly coming off of what you said about the past like 5 years or so, is that going to events can be very anxiety provoking for people that are not used, people are not used to being out there, or maybe they don't know their coworkers that well because it's all remote and they only see them on Zoom.
Right.
So I think the best thing, to your point, that you can do is provide them an experience to connect together and to have a really great experience, because it is a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah. And the conversation we're also having is around approaching things differently for different people. I think historically the happy hour was always safe, always a safe bet.
Right.
And you should still be doing office happy hours, but you also need to consider that people are really into health right now and wellness.
Yes.
People want to spend time with their families and they're conditioned to do so. So that means you're going to have to offer things across different categories, whether that's the healthy happy hour at Hello Juice. We did that with I think the STL dietitian was there to kind of provide some like juice cleanse tips, or maybe it's like a morning, you know, music and a coffee shop meetup. Just getting creative with the timing and the things you're offering to make people feel like that they're seen too, if they don't want to do the classic happy hour.
Right. Right. I really love that. Well, so tell us, I'm going to back you up a little bit.
Sure.
To your origin. Like, where do you come from? What's your background?
So I'm from a small town in Illinois.
Love that.
3,000 people. And my parents were both teachers. And, you know, I think just always had a lot of grit and hard work energy in the house, like a lot of high expectations. And, you know, so thankful for that foundation. And, you know, I got my degree in marketing, but I think that is just so vague, you know, that I didn't really know what that was. So I'm just feel really thankful that I found myself in the restaurant scene in St. Louis. I think it's such a cool and important background to like have worked in hospitality. Because I mean, I made connections at the bar, working the bar at Farmhouse, that I like still am meeting with people that have done business with me 10 years later.
That's amazing.
So I came, I graduated from SAUE, moved to St. Louis, and was working at Farmhouse through the opening of that restaurant. And then did that for, I worked for Gerard Craft for a few years. And
we love Gerard.
Yes.
So good.
Great restaurants. And it was through that experience that I just got to see the process of these people starting a small business. And that's really powerful to see. It's really hard. Most people don't get that insider view of the late nights, you know, it's hard on your physical body to open a restaurant. I mean, I have so much respect for it. I've never opened a restaurant, but just seeing that was really incredible and inspiring. And then I switched gears to go to the corporate world after I got my master's in project management. So I was like, all right.
That sounds about right.
Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's do it. And I found myself always kind of like an entrepreneur in those roles. Just kind of always trying to think outside of the box. And I just love, you know, bringing solutions to the table. So I did that for 8 years. And I was leading software development teams randomly enough. I got connected with a marketing agency in town and started leading software projects, and I fell in love with it. So really my passion is in building product on the side. And so that's how I really found my confidence in starting Disco and connected with an engineering shop that I had worked with before. And he was like, wow, I really believe in this. And so they were our first and only investor to get the company off the ground.
Love that.
Amazing.
Well, in a startup, especially a software startup, is so intimidating. Tell us kind of how you overcame. Well, number one, the timing of when you started was challenging. And then starting a software company. I mean, really, you kind of are like taking all the hardest things as an entrepreneur and tackling it. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yes. And, I think that with a background in software, the biggest thing, I think the biggest advantage is just understanding that you can launch without everything being perfect. I think that's what holds a lot of people back, is they feel like they have to have the perfect solution. And that's really not the beauty of starting a product and starting a company. It's really embracing the fact that you're on a learning journey.
Yes.
I mean, I have a master's degree and I feel like I've gotten 3 masters in 4 years.
Yeah. Isn't that so true?
It's crazy. And so it's really embracing the learning and just,
rolling with it.
Right.
And
just
knowing
rolling with
it's
it.
not going to be perfect. Yeah.
And day one, we launched as a marketplace. There was 10 things on there. And, to be fair, so I'm a bootstrap company and starting a marketplace, a 2-sided marketplace is really hard. I still feel like we're vertically integrated, right? Sitting in the middle of business and corporate now, but we can create a lot more tailored solutions.
Right.
And so, I had to make a pivot from that original start, but you just have to give yourself grace in doing that. And if I would have shut down that first iteration of the company because I said it didn't work, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
And so I think it's, leaning in and listening, and you have to get in it with your customers. When I tell you I have been in the thick of it, I'm not operating from up here, right? I'm operating from inside.
Right.
So I work with the chefs that I'm working with. I understand process. I listen to my customers and just remind myself all the time, like, yes, you become an expert, but you do that through really doing the work.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think that when you go into it with everybody goes in with a thought of what, and if you can't pivot off of that and evolve with what evolved to, it really is why we see so many of those companies fail.
Yes.
So I commend you for recognizing,
right.
You just have to keep going and moving with we always say this, it's meet them where they are. Don't try to force them to where you think they're supposed to be.
Yes.
Right? You have to meet them where they are.
And you grow through, relationships have been my biggest source of growth is, same with you. Obviously, you guys have so many amazing connections, and it's because when people work with you, they know that you're going to deliver.
Right.
And so I always at a baseline just want to be that person. I want to deliver and do what I say I'm going to do at a higher level, over deliver. So I think, in the startup scene, even from when I started to now, I think I had a bigger barrier to entry for competition when I first started because it was harder to start a software company.
Right.
It's not as hard to start a software company now. The way I build now is so much different. It's changed and evolved. So they talk about day 0 now, which is the day that you launch the company. And that's actually becoming the easy part. It's, all the days after that, it's growing, scaling. That's the hard part. So I think it's going to be, what we're going to see is a lot of noise in the space and a lot more people doing it, which I'm highly encouraging of. If you want to start a business, I really encourage that. But, we can't get so hyper about oh my gosh, focus on what you're building, delivering, and you'll be successful.
Yeah. Do you have a team behind you?
I do. We have about 5 contractors and 1 full-time employee in addition to myself.
And what do those people do versus what you do?
So, I found it's been successful, identifying core, really how do I like to approach things is when I'm doing something, I'm, the first, second time, I'm really trying to look at all the steps that are going into that and templatizing things as soon as possible. Then once I get it end to end to a place that I can do that, then I chisel off that piece of work. That's just worked for me starting a business.
Yeah.
And then, I think, once people scale to 15, 20 people, you can have more of generalist jack of all trades.
Right.
But for me, it's worked out, delegating very specific things.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good delegation.
Yeah.
That it can be a challenge.
It is
but
hard.
like, it can be a challenge, but it sounds like you've done a great job doing it.
I don't know if I don't think so. I actually would say that's probably my biggest challenge as a founder. Or you relate to this, like wanting to have your hand, like feeling so passionate about what you're doing, I think is the key. It's not that you're like a control freak, right? I don't feel that way. I just feel like I want it to be good. And so, you always just think like there's no one that's going to be able to do it better. And the fact is there's not.
Yeah. And that is so true. And it's such a hard thing to kind of wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Is no one's going to do it the way you think it should be done.
Right.
But you have to trust the people you're putting around you.
Yes.
And, one of the things that we always love to say is like, we're putting people around us that are smarter than us, that do things better than us, because we're learning from them.
Yes.
We have the concept, we have the vision, we can keep that on track, but we need experts to come in and do the work. Like we have to trust them to do that work.
Yeah. Would you say that you're a perfectionist?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't know. I'm also like acutely aware of being okay with like I said earlier, like rolling something out and then evolving it. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to have a vision of perfection, but not feeling like day one has to look that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's with our lives too, right? Like I want to be the perfect mom. I want to be the perfect friend and wife. Like obviously that's not good. No one's
reality.
perfect.
Right.
That's not
It's
reality.
not reality.
I think it's just taking steps every day to get there.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's, a lot of it's just self-awareness, and, it's one of those things that either you have it or you don't. And, it can be your biggest roadblock or your biggest like wind beneath your wings,
right?
So the self-awareness piece is really important, I think.
Yeah.
I think we're getting ready to take a quick break. We're going to tackle a few things, a few other topics, and talk about Brittany is like has other businesses and is always thinking so far ahead of the rest of us. Like I'm so far in my weeds of today, I can't think far ahead, but Brittany does a really good job of doing that. And we're going to talk to her a little bit about what's in her future right after this break.
and Angela Sandler on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Oh, we have Ryan dancing. Even Ryan is dancing. So welcome back to Co-Founders. We have a couple housekeeping items. So, you just heard a minute ago, this is the Lou Information Station. You can find us at louinfo.com. We are also broadcasting on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you find your podcast, you're going to find us and every other podcast that's on this station. Also, if you really, really love us, please follow us on Instagram at Co-Founders. You'll see a complete recap of this conversation on our social media. You will also have access to the podcast later this afternoon. And we're so excited. Oh, and text line. For those of you listening live, only live, Mom, 314-590-3770 is our text line. And download the app. Don't forget to download the app. Okay, so we're going to continue our conversation with the wonderful Brittany Dwyer, who is a local entrepreneur, startup genius, has her online platform called Disco, which is a connector with events and experiences. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about the things she's doing beyond Disco, because she's always like 5 miles ahead of the rest of us, by the way. So y'all know this girl is already thinking probably in 2030, like what she's going to do and what she's going to accomplish in 2030. I'm thinking about today, just so we have context here. So Brittany, tell us a little bit about where does Disco go from here, and what are the other things you kind of have on the hopper?
So, I mean, we kind of talked about like Disco, at its core around community. And through this journey, I'm just always doing research around, what's happening, like what are people actually wanting, right? And then leaning into what I'm feeling. I think the trend that we're kind of all seeing and that I think is going to maintain is actually people kind of going offline a little bit more.
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone about all the AI content.
I was just going to ask about AI.
All the AI content. And I think it's going to encourage people even more to be seeking like a real person, real recommendations, and honestly reduce the noise. People are looking for ways to read. Everything that we're doing is kind of coming from that perspective of kind of what's next. Like if everyone stopped being on Instagram tomorrow, and that kind of spurred our conversation with STL Bucket List, who's a partner in our community program, is again, people, without ads or, even with them, like they're going to want real, community.
They're craving real connection.
Right. Yeah. So we, Disco, we do the group events and experiences, but we're really helping our partners and our clients think, 5 steps ahead and really map out a plan. So historically with events, a lot of things is like, okay, what's next? What are we doing?
Right.
And so we're looking at things from the perspective of like, what should you be doing over the next 6 months? So our community program with Bucket List is Hey Lou. And it's kind of into our, meetups and events planning. So we partner with local apartments actually to get their residents out into the community through redeeming perks, hosting local meetups, meeting each other.
So cool.
Yeah. So we just did a planning session with a lot of local property managers yesterday, actually helping them think about their calendars for next year.
Gosh, I wish we would have had this when I moved here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's such a need. A lot of people aren't, especially if someone's not from St. Louis. We, are again continuing to do important work in St. Louis. One thing that's on my docket for this next year is hopefully helping bring back the Young Professionals organization.
Love that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It's some things in the works there, and instead of just bringing it back, really helping to look at what's the St. Louis pipeline from university to people that are established professionals, not just the in-between, which are young professionals.
Right.
So really taking a look at kind of how do we attract people in St. Louis and get people to stay here through community events.
Love that.
And so that's really, kind of our biggest thing in the new year. We helped partner with Ben Perumba to launch.
Love Ben.
Yes.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. Experience gift boxes. So again, very tied into our work. We actually had clients requesting things that they could send to their employees that weren't, and things like a night in Italy, breakfast in Paris, a Spanish happy hour. So you can now send an Atlas box through this collaboration.
I love that.
So those are kind of our two big things right now.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. And I think, again, as I'm going through, I literally was writing a list on my way here of gifts that I still need to get for the holidays. And it is always thinking about, like, how can I create in what I'm giving my loved ones, right? And you're kind of taking the thinking out of that for these corporate pieces and these business pieces, which I love, because I have no time or energy to think about the business side of this. I'm so consumed with my personal stuff that I'm like, what are we doing for our clients again? I forgot.
It's been planned for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
wink,
true.
wink.
It's true. I mean, and then I love the community piece. And truly, I moved here many years ago. And this is a very difficult city to move into. And I think probably everybody says that about every city, but I love St. Louis, but St. Louis is really hard to break into unless you have a local connection.
It is. It's, I was actually just with a woman last night who moved here recently and was just saying that she didn't love it and was having a hard time finding her community. And those are conversations like, okay, I want to hear more about this. I want to learn more about, like, why do you feel this way? And that's something that we definitely have to overcome as a city.
Yes.
Because I think there's so many benefits to moving here and living here. If you meet the right people and know where to go, because you really can achieve big things in St. Louis because people are really supportive.
Yes.
Obviously we're a much smaller city than a lot of others, which, at sometimes can be kind of, why people don't want to move here, right? It's like, what's in St. Louis? Well, when you find your community, then people are like, the people are amazing. There's great local business,
great restaurants.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can access everything. Like, that's what we always love. I love to tell people that don't live here. I'm like, I literally can get everywhere in 15 minutes from where I live. And my kids, who are sports kids, I have a hockey kid. He actually meets and sees hockey players at the grocery store. Like, it is unlike any other city. The accessibility, the friendliness, and the community of this city is so awesome. And I love that this is the mission, is for you to kind of expose that to these transplants.
Yes. And it's a time of growth in St. Louis. I think, we can't say like we're at our peak right now, because we are not. It is a time of building in St. Louis, and it's going to take builders, and it's going to take people with passion and grit, and not the same recipe as there's always been. So I'm happy those conversations are happening, and I feel, proud to be a part of those conversations.
Well, that's awesome.
I feel encouraged having you in the middle of it, because I'm not there where you are, and I'm not the age, I don't think, anymore.
Stop.
But it's people like you that have that vision and have that drive and really can think outside of the box. Like, how do we create this story? And I love it. I love what you're doing. It's so incredible.
Can you bring back parties in the park in Clayton?
I don't think I have the power to do that, but I will put in a good word.
I tell you, that was the best. And that was the best community building.
I agree.
It was so great.
Yeah. That was where I met a lot of people.
So it's been, I guess, 2 years. They haven't done it.
I think it might have been longer than that. It's been a while.
I mean, it was packed. That's an event we definitely should bring back.
Yeah, you should even just like a nostalgic, like just one throwback next summer. Do it. Do it.
Oh,
Do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Don't encourage me.
Oh, back in the day, that was, you
yeah.
looked forward to that Wednesday night and have drinks at Jalapenos and walk on over to Cardwell's. I mean, like, it was a thing. Everybody showed up.
I probably knocked into you a few times.
Probably.
I mean, I'm guessing that we probably crossed paths during parties on the park.
Probably.
Yeah.
But awesome. I mean, it was such a good young professionals type of an easy, low barrier.
Yeah.
It was just
got people out in it.
Yep.
So what's next? Tell us what's next.
I mean, the community building is really the focus.
Are you going to take this into other cities, or is this going to stay?
We are.
Okay.
So that company is live in over 40 apartments in St. Louis.
Amazing.
We have over 120 curated offers for the residents, which we're translating to like repeat business for the local business. Right now, what's next is like pulling the insights from that to see what we can understand about people's like preferences and behaviors to ultimately serve them. Like what do they want to do? So, that's going to be the focus over the next year. And, Disco has really evolved. I kind of feels like an agency, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
In the way that we're serving our clients, because like right now, instead of like, there's really no last minute scrambling to plan events. We're really kind of moving into a chunk of like kind of strategic planning initiatives. So we're helping people think about, like, we work with a ton of financial advisors actually. And so we're thinking about what are the 12 client engagements they're hosting next year. That's how Disco has evolved. And I like it because we can really serve as a partner versus just, more of a transactional resource.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not an easy market to break into. Like just trying to get a hold of HR departments and things like that. That's like we tried that at one point and it was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. So I applaud you for having
the cycle is just longer on that. I mean, it's cycle and some,
right.
I mean, I actually have a client that's hopefully going to work with us, and we've been talking to them for 18 months.
Yeah. Well, but I also think that, having the built-in plan allows you to have those strategic conversations. And that's what differentiates you from an event planner.
Yeah.
Is that it's not, you're
packages.
Not just coming with, hey, I can do your events. I can do 6 events. I'll come up with all the, you actually are coming through with a menu of items, so to speak.
Yeah, that's based on what's performing well, right? So we get a lot of our ideas from Instagram, of course, but we're researching, like, I'm trying to understand what New York and San Francisco and Austin are doing.
Yeah.
Again, not a knock on St. Louis, but like, I don't want to wait 5 years for our people to be doing that stuff. So if we see something really cool that we want to execute, we're not waiting for a local business to say that they're doing it, not to say that they can't, right? But a lot of times, we're having to wait for like trends to get to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And so we're just looking at kind of what's performing well. A good example is like, not like a national trend, but something fun we just did was we did like a engagement at Kirkwood Farmers Market. They don't historically like do a lot of events, but it's like, okay, well, why can't we do something? So it was like a fall family friendly. So the client was able to do something on Saturday during the day. Stargazing at Laumauer Park. Like we've got 3 people already planned to do that next year.
That's fun. That's
so I just like love seeing what people are enjoying and what's tracking and what I want to do. And bringing that to people.
That brings me to my question. What do you like to do? Like, how are you self-caring? Because girl, you've got so much going on. How do you like dial back and do things for you?
Well, I have 2 daughters, 6.5 and 3.5. And so there's really not a lot of me time right now, but my time, I'm not trying to sound cheesy, but my time with them is my me time. So I really do try to just focus on my connection with them whenever I'm home, and having a lot more of a firm boundary than I did in the beginning.
Which is so hard to do.
It's hard. Like your mind's always going and you're always thinking of it. So I try to, in those hours I'm at home. Let's see, health-wise, I do a pretty good job of intermittent fasting most days. I usually eat dinner around 5:30 with my family, and then I usually don't eat till the following afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Wow.
I
mean,
mean,
look great.
Well, thanks. I don't know. It feels good.
It feels good. It's good for your body.
It feels good. And so I think acupuncture, those are kind of my health things.
Yeah. That's good.
I love that. And it's so hard. Honestly, you're at such a a very challenging time of your life in the sense of having young children, starting these businesses. Really, we're the last thing we take care of as females. It's always our bodies and our mental health and all that stuff is the very last thing we think about.
Yeah.
So anything that helps, you kind of stay focused on your goals is awesome.
A good morning workout, like honestly changes the game for me. 100%. I love there's like the hardest class at Lifetime out on a Monday.
What class is that?
It's the alpha conditioning.
Okay.
Have you been
Love
to that?
No.
And it's aggressive, but I was talking to someone the other day, or maybe I was listening to something. I think the Emma Grady podcast.
Yeah.
And she was like, I am just doing like the hardest thing at the beginning of the day. Or no, my friend actually, Stacy, said that. She's like, I'll do the hardest thing on my list first. I was trying to remember who said that. And it does serve. That's true. So it's like if you can like do something really hard first thing in the week, I know that's like maybe you just want to chill, but then you're like, okay, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very motivating.
Just do the hard thing and then get that out of the way. And then I feel good. So I like to do that. But if I can't, which I try to do a few times a week, I just some grace, because I think it's all about perspective. It's like we cannot do it all. Right. And I'll be like most of the really successful people that I know, like they aren't hitting the gym 5 days a week. Like I hate to say that, like
you're so right.
They're giving like moms, if I'm speaking from that perspective, and that's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we put too much pressure on us to do everything. And I think that ultimately it has to bring us joy and it has to fill our cups. I think one of the things I'm interested to hear from you too is what's like your guilty pleasure then? So you're focused on everybody else. You say your daughters are your me time. What's a guilty you have to have a guilty pleasure. You have to.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, is it drinking bourbon at 10 a.m.?
I mean, like, I do love wine. I
want to know what it is.
I love wine. What is my guilty pleasure?
I want to know what gets Real Housewives for 10 minutes a day.
I don't watch reality TV. Like, again, I sound like a stick in the mud. I really don't. I don't really watch TV right now. I'm a nonfiction gal, so I listen to that. I'm just reading books, and I listen to Mel Robbins' podcast. I love starting my day with Mel Robbins. I know she's just like really popular right now, but it's always like a great motivator. Music. I love listening to music. That's probably love a good concert. I think those are my things.
You are definitely not a stick in the mud.
No, heck no.
No, when it comes to like my own stuff, like I did a craft night with friends last night. So I do my own. I love a good meal. I guess my guilty pleasure is a good meal. I'll like spend money on a good meal.
Yeah. Where's your go-to for like a night out? If you and your husband are going to have one of those nights out, where do you go? Where do the cool kids go?
My favorites, I would say, I love Eska.
Love Eska.
I love a classic dinner at Farmhouse. I mean, I worked there for years, and that's always hits the spot. Let's see. I don't know. Like those are probably my top ones. I mean, I don't go out a lot at the moment.
Where are the cool kids going nowadays in St. Louis?
I was going to say Louis too is another favorite dinner spot.
So good.
Where are the cool kids going out? Cherokee Street has got it going on.
Really?
That's like a favorite stretch of mine. So if I'm going to do like a date night, I'll go to Little Fox, Sippy Wine Bar, Clements. And then wrap it up at Shoes.
Love that.
I haven't even heard of half those places. I haven't either. I'm so old.
But it sounds so good.
Yeah, that is a night out right there.
Okay.
If you want to have it.
So Cherokee Street. All right. I like that.
Sippy is a natural wine bar. So are you guys into natural wine?
Yeah. Well, I'm
into wine.
Okay. I'm into wine too. Okay.
General.
That's like a big change that I had to make mid-30s is I'm like big on the natural wine because I don't get hungover.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense because there was a winery out in Oregon, in Portland that had all of that.
Got it.
And that was like one of the only red wines I could drink without having a hangover.
Yeah. So if you own a restaurant and you're listening, natural wine and make it chilled.
Yeah.
And then I'm happy.
Yeah.
There you go.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, so I think we're going to move into our rapid fire. Is there first I want Brittany to tell us where to find her because we want to make sure that our audience knows where to find her if they have any questions.
Yes. Disco STL on Instagram. Send us a message and then time2disco.com is our URL.
Amazing.
So and reach out.
We will also share this on our socials for those of you who missed it. But reach out to, if nothing else, Brittany is just such an interesting person. go find her.
Oh,
Look at all her stuff. She's super interesting, and she's dialed in.
And for holiday gifts.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Atlasgiftco.com is the gift box.
Thank you.
Website.
Yes,
but you can find that on Disco too.
Awesome.
They're
Awesome.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's been a lot of fun. We really tried to think about the whole like unboxing. So we made custom coasters that are designed for every box that are on theme, and they link to a landing page where it's been in the kitchen. There's a playlist and recipes.
Love that.
So it feels like, you can kind of go beyond
Special.
It's been fun.
special.
Yeah.
It's special. All right, Angela.
Okay.
Rapid fire, girl.
Let's go.
Go get it.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Good girl. Well, we learned the favorite podcast is
Mel Robbins.
okay. Do you have another one you like?
Well, I'm just on the Emma Grady Aspire. Have you listened to her?
I listened to her on Mel Robbins' podcast, but I haven't listened to hers
Well,
yet.
she just started her own, and there are a couple episodes that I think everyone should listen to.
Okay.
We'll get those from you, and we'll post
Yes.
those.
Okay. I'll share.
Okay. Thank you.
What book are you reading?
To me when I started my business, and now I'm rereading it because it's been 4 years.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's great. Well, we know where your favorite restaurants are, and that you love food. You order. What's your favorite order?
I'm a big like snacks for the table person.
Okay.
Like I love a family style meal, so I'm ordering like a cheese and charcuterie, the crudités and onion dip at Esca, and the stracciatella.
That is so good.
Yes. Like I just want a snack. Like I just want bites, like the cauliflower at Katie's. Like I love that.
Yep. So you're like a nashi girl.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that.
I'm a girl dinner.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
What do you want for Christmas?
Oh, what do I kind of already bought my own. Oh, I want a new work bag, actually, like a cute work bag.
Love that.
Okay.
Love that.
I just bought myself a skylight like calendar thing.
Oh,
Love
that's good.
that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Very
friends.
good.
Well, we're going to wrap up this year.
Oh my gosh.
2025.
I feel honored to be the last. You are.
And it's so awesome.
I would say probably the best as well.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Definitely
Going
a
out
great
with a bang.
conversation. All right, guys, we will see you in 2026 by 2025. Peace.
Buddy. What do you say, buddy?
Man, life comes at you fast. 1 minute you're cruising home, the next flashing lights in your rearview.
And that's when you need backup. With the Legal Buddy app, you can connect to a local attorney in seconds.
Seconds? Not waiting days for a callback?
Nope, right away. DWI, car accident, criminal charge, traffic ticket, Legal Buddy's got your back.
So it's like having a lawyer in your pocket.
Exactly. Someone ready to step in the moment you need them, no matter the situation.
That's peace of mind.
That's Legal Buddy.
We're always going to be buddies, right?
All right, where do I get this?
Just download the Legal Buddy app at legalbuddyapp.com. Register and use code LEGAL for